So, without wasting further time, today's topic is material, money and mindset. It is indeed a very good topic, and we architects keep on spending our time and energy on all these three things, right? Our mind says something different many a times, and money says something else by the client. Many times the client looks rich, but his budget is on the lower side, and vice versa. Mindset, money, materials, because there are so many materials in the same line. You can say the AC. There are more than 10 leading brands in India. Paints, flooring, fall ceiling, anything you take. So things are moving in a very different directions. We all experts will discuss how we think, how we smile in front of the client or in the rear of the client sometimes, and how we take very tough decisions most of the times. So I will start with Arvind Gupta ji, and he needs no introduction. He is heading our leading college. He was originally NFD, then moved to INFD. Now he will throw light about his journey in Ludhiana. He has produced many leading interior designers, and he is among us, and he will share his experience, and he is the father of architect also. So I request Arvindji to throw some light on him and his profession, as well as on the today's topic, money, materials and mindset.
Jai Hind and good afternoon to everyone. I'm very happy and thankful to the panel, to the organizers of this event, that they thought me worthy of being here. As he has rightly pointed out, we've been running this institute in the design field since 1997. I think many of the students and youngsters sitting here, some of the architects probably were not even born when we started this. So we've come a long journey, we've covered a long journey. We've seen ups and downs, highs and lows, everything. Based upon our personal experience, I would, rather than introducing myself and the institute, as you just said, okay, now it's called New York Institute of Fashion because we have our corporate head office in Manhattan, US, and we have our establishment scattered all over India, and we have more than 60 branches of NIF in the country. Our students we have two different streams of education, the fashion design stream and the interior design stream. And our students are today participating in various fashion weeks in India and abroad. The Lakme Fashion Week is the most prestigious platform in India. And somebody might be thinking, what have interior designer students got to do with a fashion design or fashion week? Well, the set design for the interior for the fashion weeks is being taken care of by no one else but my students of NIF. So it's a very, very prestigious place where our students of fashion are displaying their garments and the interior design students are doing the set design. Similarly, our students are going to London Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, Dubai Fashion Week, and very soon probably our students will also be participating in the Milan Fashion Week. So I think that should be enough for introducing the institute. By education, I'm an engineer. I'm a civil engineer, so remotely connected with the construction line. However, based upon my father's desire, the dying desire that I should leave my civil services, I was getting into civil services. He wanted me to spend my life, rather than being an IAS officer, he wanted me to spread light and enlighten the youth and particularly the females in 1988. So since then I left my civil services dream and everything and came over to education. And here we are, seconded by my Chief Executive Officer, Ms. Amardeep Lal, who is herself an interior designer and a fashion designer also. So together we people are trying to train youth of the country, taking them into a journey where they become skill-based and they are able to employ themselves as well as provide employment to many of us. So coming back to the topic, do you want me to speak about the topic right now? You might have felt awkward when I said Jai Hind, but then that's my passion. I come from the army background, army school, and Jai Hind is something which gives me a feeling that this hall doesn't belong to me, the house doesn't belong to me, the office doesn't belong to me. That gives me a feeling that the country belongs to me, right? So I think most importantly, when we talk about this topic, somewhere I want youth, the youngsters sitting here, to have a feeling that whatever you're doing, whatever you're creating, your contribution should be based upon nation building. when we talk about building, construction, I think most importantly, you have to keep into mind the materials which are being used in this country, which do not bring in any kind of problem for the generations to come. Because as we are seeing, I am traveling all around the world today, and I am seeing that the kind of sensitivity that those people have towards their environment, be it construction, be it their daily life, they're very sensitive to it, and we are not. When we construct our buildings, we are hardly bothered about what kind of impact it is going to have on the environment. So in short, I would say sustainability today in the Indian context is of prime importance, as I feel, because we are not just constructing a house for us, we are even going to the extent of constructing the entire building, the building environment, the colony, and henceforth the entire country. Right? So keeping that into mind, we have to somehow study the material which was used traditionally by our forefathers, by our great grandfathers, and what kind of impact it had on construction. What are the sustainability benefits of that material? And we can pick up that material once again, maybe in a modified manner, because technology has gone far. Technology has brought about a lot of aesthetic value to the same material which was being used at that time. So let us adopt materials which should be cost effective, so that the same money can be utilized for some other purposes for the benefit of the country. And at the same time, let us not hesitate in bringing about a revolution wherein we feel that the sustainable materials and sustainability concept has to sustain, has to prevail, and has to be adopted with pride. That's all I think from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Arvind sir. You have really touched upon the topic and shared a lot from your side. And I hope in your company, we all architects may travel to different countries as well, because you are expanding like anything. When we were students, we were confined to the district or state headquarters only. So I don't know when our student life will start again, especially under your guidance. So again, continuing with that same topic, now I request Architect Vikram Sharma. He's an experienced architect, starting his life from Bengaluru and to different parts of India and globe, and he can share better how clients are happy or unhappy with us when we take decisions as architect with respect to mindset, money, and materials. Right? Vikram Sharma, please.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. This is a very sensitive topic, materials, mindset, and money. For me, these things, along with architecture and the clients, are deeply interconnected. That's how I feel. And right from the conceptualization of the design or the initial meetings that we have with the clients, these three things come into play to eventually, see or conceive what the outcome of the total design would be. So they play an important part at every stage, from conceptualization to working drawings to visualizations, and then the total impact that they're going to have while we, go through or walk through the final, product. And of course, the materials, what kind of kinetic energies that are going to be generated in yourself, in your mind, how things are going to evolve once you're finished with the whole thing. So I think all these things really play a very important part. So since we have a very small bracket of time, I highlight two projects, or I'll start with one. So in 2002 or 3, a few of my friends got together and they came to my office, say we want to design the first cafe in Ludhiana, and that happened to be One Happy Bee. It's on the dividing road of I block and K block, between Mandir and Gurdwara. So 500 square yard plot, and we start designing. I said, okay, now the money comes into play. First, we need to discuss everything. So they said, because we have, in 2000, we have only 11 lakh rupees. And in that, you have to get me all the kitchen equipment, all the furniture. You have to make a building, do the landscape, do the gate, lighting, everything in this. Okay, very good. I think that's not going to be enough. No. There's a good news. I said, okay, let me know the good news. We've already spent ₹1,00,000 out of that. I said, on what? He said, we got the coffee machine from Italy. So you have only 10 left. So again, sitting on the drawing board and working on the concept, and they said we want a curvilinear building, and we want a glass ceiling, and then of course they have all their dreams. And for an architect to get all that fitting in your budget takes a very good amount of acumen. And we could finally, give them their product in which the entire furniture and how we went about was selecting materials. Again, for flooring, we used local materials, sourced locally, say stone from Rajasthan, and then of course the civil construction was basic brickworks, and then again leftover, we went around to all the stone people, those who were selling stones in Ludhiana. That time Malhar Road had a lot of stone selling shops, and we picked up all the waste stones and cut them into that butchworks, and we of course you have to be very alive and sensitive to when you're designing which way you're going. Since the budget was very low, so we could not do false ceiling. So what we picked up fabrics, and we could hang the fabric and get a light diffused from the ceilings. That all worked. And of course air conditioning mein hum kuch kar nahi sake, because we of course raised the level of the roof to save on the air conditioning cost, but then again we had to put split air conditioners, and still, but that was a very interesting job, and it gave me goosebumps when I used to see people line up outside the gates of 180 to get inside. That was the time, and of course again, that was one of my explanations and the new budding architects to how materials, money and mindset plays when you're designing in arts. With that, I'll again hand my mic back to Sanjay. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear Vikas. Nice words. My friends Bimal got late, Yogesh got late. But we were recently joined by Dr. Nidhi Raheja. All of us are requested to clap for Nidhi. She has joined us. I invite Nidhi in this chair for a few minutes. Nidhi, please come. And you will share your experience. Come on. She will come. And it's really interesting in my journey of last more than 30 years. I have come across many clients. And many of times the clients come with highest budget, because I think 4 or 5 crores are enough. They says, no, I want to spend more than 9 crores or 10 crores. It's very tough question by the client, for a 5-bedroom or 4 BHK house. And many times the client comes with the lowest budget, because we were designing for the government for economical weaker section. The government told me that 7 lakh is too much for a 1 BHK. 7 lakh, right? Which is more than our fees in case of a big house, right? So this is a contrast with respect to, again, mindset, materials and money, you can say. And coming to Shweta, she has a lot of experience. She is from Aurangabad, if I'm right. She will throw some light, because we are here, many experts, panelists, not only from Ludhiana, but different parts of the country we originally belong to, or studied in different colleges. Shweta will throw light on mindset, money and materials.
She has a mic.
Very good afternoon, everyone. And this is, I will quickly introduce myself. I'm architect Shweta Khosla, and I studied in Pune. And the first question I ask, if anybody asks me is, why did you come to Ludhiana when you studied in Pune? And everybody wants to go to Pune in Maharashtra. I have no answer, but I really wish that everybody over here would once visit the rest of the country and maybe realize the difference in each state gives us an exposure of a different mindset, of a different culture, and how the diversity in each state affects our designing process. And I think it's a beautiful thing that each state has its own, rules when rules, and the variety of materials, the mindset. And I really I dislike the way everything is turning into, it's just following global rules, which are not really rules, but rules of our own making, where each house in Pune and in Ludhiana and in Australia and in New York looks the same. I love the diversity which each state offers us, the material palette, how a Gujarati jhula looks, how a wooden jhula in Kerala looks, the different materials which down south people use, and the Rajasthani marble which all of us love. I love the diversity, and I feel that the diversity should be preserved. That difference in material palette, where every 100 meters you travel by road, you get a different terrain. In the same way, the houses, the buildings, the material palette should change with every city, with every state. And I would love to preserve that. I would love that, when in architecture colleges we used to be taken to the traditional vadas of Pune. I'm from Pune, so whatever that offers was something very different from what we are executing now. I would love to bring back all that. And I would really love that I can see a lot of student crowd here. I wish that each one of us goes back to the roots and studies the things which were the difference in architecture and the difference in the material, which was a lovely palette to offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta. You have touched upon the diversity in the country, and I agree with you that after just a few kilometers, everything changes, drastically. Especially architecture. Architects can understand better not only the zoning, climatic zones, or materials, people taste, budgets, everything. So there's a lot to learn in India, and you all must travel as much as possible, first within our country, to learn more about materials and mindset of the people present over here. And coming to my good friend, architect Khushboo Raheja, and what is the impact of client or the social media, whether it is good or bad for architects? Many of times clients comes mentally prepared to Instagram, to Pinterest, many things. So the young generation is quite after the social media. You will touch upon the topic with respect to social media, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Khushboo, and thank you, sir, for this question. I guess this topic and this question is the basic need of the hour. Everybody needs to talk about this topic. This Instagram, Pinterest, which I actually, quote to my clients that, okay, you have studied this in Instagram School of Architecture. I really talk like that. See, everything has the pros and cons. And similarly, this social media and the influence which is happening from Pinterest also has its pros and cons. Definitely, it's like a double-edged sword, right? So, when a client comes to us, the biggest benefit we get from that is that the client comes more aware. The client knows things. The client talk the language which we would have studied in the architectural school. They would talk about mood boards. They would even at times the client comes and they say, we want to do Japanese style. I'm like, wow, they know this, right? So this is I guess the pro. And at times, we have to tell what we want to do in the design, and it becomes easy for us to just show a little reference of the mood board. Okay, then the client understands it quite quickly. Otherwise, if you do something like very ulta pulta or teda meda, they would all of a sudden they'll say no. But if you show some reference image, they would get a little positive towards trying different things. So yes, that's a very big pro. But now talking about the cons, which are like a lot. First of all, I guess all of us, like a little older generation than the new generation, we are facing the heat of social media and Instagram. People trust the pictures more at times than experience, you know. There was a client who came to me and she was like, ma'am, aajkal na fluted glasses are very much in trend and I want to use it on the shower enclosures. I was like, okay. I said, who told you that? I saw a reel. So, you know, it was there and it was looking very nice. I was like, would you be able to clean it? After, you know, all the edges, would you be able to clean it? The practicality is not visible in those videos and reels. Even, I guess all of us would be facing, our inboxes are flooded with the reels sent by the clients. The client would say, ma'am, aapne wo story dekhi thi? I'm like, sorry, if you want to talk to me, please call me on or mail me or WhatsApp. Instagram is not a professional platform to talk and discuss these things. So this is a very big con. There are very picture perfect images and videos on Pinterest, which are not true. You know, there are no kids in those pictures, no Kamwali's absence, nothing like that. Everything is picture perfect, and they want our houses to be like that. How is it possible? You know, first of all, with the kind of budget a client has, the kind of constraints they put on us, हाथ तो हमारे first day पे बांध दिए जाते हैं, and then they say, okay, अब आप, you know, deliver something like this which is visible in this picture. So, yeah, it's both ways, I would say. But I feel that the client should be educated on the day one that if you are hiring a professional, it's okay. You understand, you take references, that is fine. But you really need to ultimately, you know, respect and value what a professional is telling. आज आपने बोला मुझे क्लासिकल चाहिए, कल आपको एक मॉडर्न रील अच्छी लगी, आप सेम रूम के लिए हमें 4 चीजें भेज रहे हो which are like 4 different themes. Client itself becomes confused because of that. So I guess that's my take on social media influence.
Good, you have shown very good light, and especially when we were students, you know, when I started practice in 95, you can say, we used to do 90% two-dimensional work, only 10% or 5% three-dimensional work, only 3-4 perspectives, you know, there was no AutoCAD, no computers, etc. But nowadays, client expects 90% 3Ds and 10% 2Ds, right? And the client focus is more on the quantity of design you are sharing, not quality of design.
And even copy paste is happening a lot because of that. The creativity is taking a back step because it's very easy, it's very fast, and it's very convenient to see a picture, copy it, show it to a client, and we are done.
Yeah,
this is also happening.
True. So things have changed a lot. Many times client comes with less budget, less number of months. And many times same clients come with same less budget with many more number of months. Is ready to give 1 year for the house to be renovated with very less cost. Same is vice versa in the higher cost. Highest cost, client is busy, client is not having time, he wants everything to be done in 1 month. And many times client is easy, as a second house, he will say, use the same budget, highest budget, but highest time. So it is very tough for the architect to take decisions. Now I will request Nidhi Raheja, another expert with us, to share her experience on this topic.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm architect Nidhi Raheja, and thank you, Sanjay sir, for inviting me. Today's topic, this is material, mindset, and money. I think it is a very, you know, a topic, something which is very confusing at times because it's not always correct when we say, okay, if we can do something in lesser budget, it should be bad, or it should be good, or it should be creative, or it should be something. I think it all depends on कि हम किस तरह से जो money spend हुआ है उसको better way में portray करते हैं. Like if the client's budget, let's say it's 1 CR, the worth at the final outcome it should be at least 1.5 CR. Even if he's spending 10 CR, the things are looking a little jazzy or overdone or not right, then the money spent is worthless. So even if the client's budget is less or more, our work is to enhance its worth. Like there are clients, very high paying clients, they put in so many things because their budget is like, we want to spend 10 CR, 50 CR, and the architect is also like, okay, let me put this thing on this wall, this thing on that wall, and this is, the whole outcome becomes very jazzy and very flashy. It might look good for a day, but not for the, to be used as a house. So end of the day, even after spending so much, the outcome is not very, pleasing to the eye. And at the same time, with a lesser amount of budget, same architect can plan better things if the pressure on spending too much, just the hype, just creating hype that I'm spending this much. If that hype is not there, the pressure is not there, the architect, same architect can, make a final picture very pleasing to the eye. So whatever money has been spent on any project with residential or commercial or institutional, it should be worth it. That's my point of view on this. Whether we spend even just 1 rupee on somewhere, it should make sense. If it's not making sense, it's not worth it. If we are putting a high-end project, some high luxury brands, let us say some, Versace tiles or some other luxury brand furniture, it should make sense. It should, reflect the personality of the client, their taste, but it should not look like that it's just been put there just to enhance the budget of the project and to enhance the final, fees of the architect. It should not be like that. The money spent should be very, consciously. That's my take on the money part of the architecture.
Agree, Nidhi, you have spoken good, and good to learn through the youngsters from Nidhi Raheja and all the experts sitting on my right and left hand side. I know today is a working day, working time, merry season, many things. So many people are watching me when the lunch will start. It will start shortly. And we are available here for the next 30 minutes during the lunch. You can ask questions to all the experts, because I am going to just minimize this panel discussion and we will continue during the lunch as well. Now I request my colleague architect Amrita Taneja, and she will summarize the whole thing and she will share her experience as architect with respect to today's topic.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much, sir, for having me over. To summarize, I would want to begin with what Shweta had started out with. As in when we travel a few kilometers on road, we get to see a change in the landscapes and the architecture of the place. So I believe, very well said, because as and when we are moving in now, moving in a society, we see a very similar palette, very similar houses anywhere in the country, maybe even abroad. We're just trying to copy paste everything now, and that's one thing which is very disappointing. And I recently got a chance to travel by road towards Rajasthan. And while I was on my way, the way I saw the architecture was preserved in areas like Jodhpur, Udaipur, it was so mesmerizing. I was like, I was taken back into time. And that's when I realized how important it is for us to preserve our culture, to follow traditions. I think the earlier people were very thoughtful about the kind of materials they were using, for the kind of architecture they were having, probably through Jarokas or even the materials they were using. They were very thoughtful about it. And I was just wondering all the way back that why not Punjabi architecture was preserved. We are just blindly following something that is on Pinterest or social media or any other platform. We're just blindly following all that. And probably if you go back in time, if you see the traditional parts of Punjab, it has been such a beautiful culture which we have somehow failed, as probably as an architect or as a client, we've failed to preserve our culture. And that's one thing I found very disappointing. But moving ahead, we have to move with the trends as well. But I'm trying to, get certain material palettes back into our tradition, because I think Punjabi culture has been always very rich, and I would want to get that back into our design process. And moving on to what Vikasji had said, that he had a very low budget and then he still created wonders. I was unaware that OHP was done by him. And we as youngsters have been to that place very often. And when I think you're lower on budget, it pushes your limits to think and rethink before spending even a single penny. and when you have a very high budget तो आपको भी फिक्र नहीं होती है कि चलो ठीक है यहाँ पे waste हो गया तो चलेगा. But when you have all the money constraints in your head, it pushes your creativity limits. So that's one thing I think कि कभी-कभी कोई project आना चाहिए जिसमें आपको yes, where you have to push your limits on that.
Can I give a small?
Yes, I would want to.
So, to my students and my fellow architects, once education in this field is most important. With education comes a small thing called experience, how you experience different materials and all. When we were studying in Bangalore, late 80s and early 90s, do you all remember there's an actor in Hollywood and Bollywood called Kabir Bedi? He had a wife, he has a wife, Promita Bedi. Okay, many. ठीक है, right? Of course, Pooja Bedi's dad and Alia's granddad. Promita Bedi was running a dance school near Bangalore. That time it was on outskirts. It was called Nrityagram. And our HOD used to push us to go and experience because that was built with no budget at all. So local Bangalore stones, they used to build arches, and then we used to go and sit there, how they were building with local materials, local, even their, flooring was red gravels, which is local to again Bangalore. So building with no budget again is very challenging. So again, we used to stay in Bangalore. There is an area called BTM layout that happens to be extremely close to IIM Bangalore. And Bangalore is one of the beautiful buildings which we can experience. It's built in stone, local stone, Karnataka stone, and those walls go at least 20 feet high, and there are trellises, and you walk through again, experiencing materials and the energy that those materials drive inside you, and those volumes, and of course again the kinetic energy that generates inside your body when you see all this composed into a whole is what your expertise is, and how of course we are all waiting. I think you are doing a few restaurants and living spaces. We will, of course, in our next meeting, have a look, of course. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yes, sir.
So in conjunction with what ma'am has said and Vikasi has said, since most of the audiences here comprise of students, I think again we're talking about mindset. I believe the mindset has to start from the stage of infancy. Tomorrow you people have to become designers. So your mindset first of all has to be on the right track. And that is only possible, as rightly pointed out by all the distinguished guests here, panelists here, that experience is important, education is important, and I believe experience also comes with travel. Because fortunately, we have so much of diversity in our country, so many cultures. Every 100 meters, kilometers, we are talking about a different culture, a different concept, a different design, and a different living processes is available there. So I think the more we travel, not with the intention of having fun. You see, I see a lot of difference amongst the students who used to study with me about 27 years back and who are studying today. And when I share my feeling and my feedback goes across to various academicians from different colleges, be it engineering colleges, be it arts colleges, be it any kind of college, any kind of education. I think the philosophy, the feeling is the same. That the students have. Hello, can I have? That the students need to first of all align their own mind as to what is their objective in life. The intent and the content is very important, which needs to be understood right at this stage. That traveling does not mean necessarily traveling with your friends for fun. Well, that is a side product, of course. Once you are into design field, your traveling also has to encapsulate a lot of focus on what you see. Because when you travel, you don't get to travel every day. When you travel and observe those things and make notes, have a scratch pad ready with you. Make your notes, click as many pictures. Fortunately, you have your cameras with you which have beautiful picture, which can capture beautiful picture. हमारे टाइम पे तो एक वो कोडैक की रील आती थी, इसको डेवलप कराने में बहुत पंगा लगता था. माँ बाप के पर्स से पैसे चोरी करने पड़ते थे कि इसको रील को हम डेवलप कराएंगे, प्रिंट कराएंगे. You can always click so many pictures in your mobiles. Just go hungry. Just go hungry for all this, you see, that is the only way. So the more you travel, our students have been traveling to Pondicherry, they have been traveling to Udaipur, Jaipur, Jaisalmer, but then sometimes we have to tell them, "Arey Baba, is cheez ki taraf dhyan rakh lo." You know, they're just waiting for the evening to come, jab hum bonfire karenge, 2 drink lagayenge aur nachenge. That you can do here also. So please try to travel as much as possible and try to observe, keep your eyes and ears open, make notes, click pictures and make your collages for these pictures and then see how your design ideas come through. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arvind sir. I agree with Arvind sir. Traveling is a big, recreation activity, big learning, big hobby. And we have to do number of works, multitasking while traveling, like starting from profession of architecture interiors. For example, I have traveled more than 1 lakh kilometers in our country, including by air. Okay, so I have taken more than 200 domestic flights to various destinations in India, and I have traveled a lot in South India and all the coastal areas of eastern and western part of India. So more you travel, more you will learn. I agree with sir. And many times you will surprise that I go to any state capital. I ask my client or anything to stay 3 days differently in 3 5-star hotels, because the luggage is very small. In the 10 a.m. I checked out. So in Hyderabad, I used to stay in 3 different Taj hotels, so that I can see, I can observe, I can learn, I can earn more, right? So that is the way you have to work. I have seen more than hundreds of 5-star hotels. The same way you are supposed to work in your life, right, students? So I think let us clap. We have been recently joined by Architect Yogesh Singla ji, Architect Anchal, Architect Sanjay, Architect Sukhman sir. If you can stand at the rear, you joined a bit late from Guru Nanak Dev Engineering College. You are representing Architect Kansha. We all clap for you. We all welcome you. Architect Yogesh Singla sir, where is you are? Yogesh sir, you are always needed. You are badly needed. You are easily needed. You joined a bit late, and Nidhi was eager to join us on the panel. And no. Yogesh sir, you have to talk about today's topic, how you take decision in your life as an architect, materials, money and mindset. And he is our fellow architect. He is a senior architect running a car architects in Ludhiana since more than 32 years. And he is also the former chairman of Institute of Architects Ludhiana Center. Architect Yogesh Singla, please.
Can I have the question?
The question is, how in your professional life you have taken good or bad decisions with respect to money, with your mindset, and client is asking for different materials. Many times client has low budget, but his taste is very high for materials, and vice versa.
So about my architectural career or life. So I started my architecture career since 1993. Since then I am practicing over there in Ludhiana as well as Punjab, Chandigarh or surrounding areas. So I have just visited the Kajaria gallery over there. Surprising, it was very good materials I have seen over there. They have the tiles of very big size tiles, like 4 feet by 9 feet, and it looks over there. There is no difference between. If I cannot differentiate even then, if it is a tile or if it is an Italian marble. Such type of beautiful tiles are over there. So as an architect as well as interior designer, I would like to say that we have so much of different materials upcoming in the market. Like if we design something, always we are excited to have such a beautiful concepts over there, beautiful designing over here. It's like when we design something, it's like giving birth to baby. Like a mother when gives birth to mother, and as well architect, when we design a building, we love that type of our building. And if we have so much of variety of materials, I think we love it. And today's visit of Kajaria Gallery, we love the material I have seen over there. Thank you.
Thank you, Yogesh sir. And my sincere thanks not only to my fellow panelists, to this team Design Unfiltered, Komalja and her team, and if they are all around, they can come near the guys near us so that we can immediately have a group photograph also. And thanks to Team Kajaria for opening their another showroom, another display center on busy Firozpur Road. We congratulate Team Kajaria and Team Design Unfiltered for inviting all architects and interior designers here on this platform. My sincere thanks to my panelist Arvind sir for sparing his valuable time. Shweta ma'am, she can speak for more hours. She is doing a number of big projects in Punjab, North India. And Yogesh sir has joined us although late, and Khushboo, Amrita and Nidhi. Common ma'am.
The students have some questions they would
Yeah. Most welcome. Students can ask the questions, please.
like you can ask the question. May I
Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you, Arvind sir, Mona ma'am, and NIF Global and Sanjay sir for having us here. And my question is to Khushboo ma'am. Ma'am, what was your biggest struggle or obstacle you faced when you entered in the architecture field?
To be honest, when I entered the architecture field in Punjab, the biggest struggle initially was to educate the people that okay, I'm a female, I'm an architect, I can work. So this was a very big biasness I faced when I started. This was a big struggle. Then second biggest struggle was that when you start, you don't have any portfolio. You don't have any work to show a client. You have to earn that. Like I remember one instance, there was a very big client of Ludhiana. Even if I take the name, everybody will know that fellow. And I don't know how it happened that they somehow came to our office and then they gave a challenge to us. Okay, this is my washroom. You design a washroom for me first. If I like it, I'll give the whole project to you. And they were already in talks with very good, like famous architects of Ludhiana. And then we took it as a challenge. We designed that, we delivered. So, and we got the whole project. And then there was no looking back. So initial days are definitely a struggle, but I guess that's it. But if you believe in yourself, so you can obviously do wonders. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other question quickly, so that we can join the lunch? The hand is there at the rear side. Someone pass the mic. Yes, please.
Good afternoon. So my question is to Khushboo ma'am again. Was it easy for you to find your first job? If no, then what was the obstacle did you face for?
Honestly, I didn't do job in Ludhiana. I immediately jammed into my practice. Initially, it looked like, I don't know I did the right thing or not. Yes, initially 2-3 years were like extremely tough. I would say extremely tough. I think we worked, like me and Nidhi both, we started together. So we worked on every post of our office, be it a PM, be it a draftsman, be it an architect, be it anything you can imagine, right? We've started that ways. But I guess that also helped us in our career because we were not afraid of learning from anybody. Even if there was a carpenter, we were learning from him. Even if the plumber bhaiya was there, we were learning from him. And we were ready to embrace the mistakes we were doing. Initially, when we used to go to the site, nobody used to listen to us. Like, oh, like anybody, contractor and all, हमें देखते थे, अच्छा, इसकी बात सुननी पड़ेगी. That used to be the initial thing which we were facing. But we changed it, and now they are afraid of us. Ma'am is coming, so it has to be perfect. So this is the journey. So which is worthwhile. That initial 2-3 years ka struggle, rather I would say more, but ultimately, eventually everything falls in place.
Thank you.
So I agree with Khushboo, and if you study carefully in your life in college or university, like doctor, you may be straight away into the operation theatre without any waiting, right? Be open.
Be open. Don't go with that mentality. We don't know everything. We are architects, so everybody has to listen to us. Be open initially.
So no more questions to Khushboo now, and the platform is open. Other than Khushboo, you can ask more questions, anyone? Or Komal, you come here and speak something if your team wants to, so that we can declare the lunch. I welcome the presence of architect Amit Sanyal. Sanyal sir, salute, Jai Hind to you. And Nimita ma'am, you are welcome, salute to you. And many more architect friends. Sanjay, you are going to ask some question? Yeah, please. Sanjay, quickly.
My question is to Shweta ma'am. My question is to Shweta ma'am. Like you talked about Vadas, I've learned about Vadas from Pune, and similarly, Kotlis from Punjab and everything else. So I don't know where are architects lacking behind in order to translate this information and this sort of love for the actual vernacular architecture when it comes to our clients. Why are we actually going to what clients are bringing us from Pinterest or somewhere else, and we are doing what they want? Why are we not educating them how architecture should be?
We are too busy meeting the demand. If we have a client who has a low budget, we can't introduce something very flamboyant. But most, in Ludhiana and around, we have a lot of high, network individuals who come to us. Why do we not introduce these concepts to them? Because ultimately, a person who has a low budget will always look up to somebody who has a, who's, if I see a bungalow which is, very lavish, and that person, it's his second home or third home, or it is his farmhouse, then we don't dare to introduce that concept. So we are being too busy meeting the demand. That is where I feel we are lacking. If industrialist from Ludhiana who has a 15 crore budget, he can experiment with anything. It is on us. It's our duty to introduce the concept to him. And maybe it, eventually creates a benchmark which everybody else follows. 2 years back, all of us were doing modern architecture, and now all of us are doing classical because the public is asking us. But where we are failing is we are meeting the demand. We are not making statements on our own.
My additional sentence to this would be, classical architecture is not just what people see it in Roman pictures or something. It is also to do with the verandas.
Yes.
And if we incorporate Vastu, Brahmasthan is actually the place to be centered and which is clear. So why are we not taking Vastu in terms where it came from our ancestors and from our roots, but also making it more scientific and more Pandit oriented? So I think that is also,
Yes, I truly agree with that. And most of the principles taught in Vastu were incorporated in our traditional architecture. If we go back, like now people come to us and they ask us, "Aap Vastu bhi kar denge kya?" So I'm like, see, whatever I design, I am not a Vastu Pandit, but whatever I give you, if you take that plan to a person who knows in-depth, knowledge of, as in-depth knowledge of Vastu, it will fit into his parameters. Because it is, these subjects, like building climatology and everything is taught to us in architecture. Although it's not like a big part and it's not called Vastu. But they, whatever we design, ultimately, very smoothly slides into the Vastu parameters.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Now, quickly, shortly, we'll move to just the question we will take. And Yogesh sir will share his experience for the youngsters sitting in the hall. And sir, joined by his son Ishan from CCA, Nidhi is from CCA, Khushboo is from CCA, myself, Yogesh, many are from CCA over here. And his daughter is also graduated from Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar. He will share his experience for the youngsters. Any question we can take?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, share.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is, how do you handle client expectations versus architectural integrity?
So I can reply, client expectations are always too much, right? Always too much, whether it's a rich, very rich or poor client. And our thoughts are our thoughts, right? Listen to the client carefully. You are a doctor in your field. You have to give good medicine from allopathic, homeopathic and Ayurvedic angle, right? So these two different things will go, but like a railway line, you have to travel parallelly till your final fees is received from the client. right? Many more things I will share with you during the lunchtime. And Yogesh sir now.
So that's a very interesting question that when somebody become a new architect at the age of 23 years, how he or she thinks about how market behaves like. दो तीन चीज़ें मैं कहना चाहूँगा. एक तो ये है सब तो पहला एज एन आर्किटेक्ट इट्स नॉट कि हमारे कोई पिताजी का दुकान है या शोरूम है तो इधर से बाइंग भी फिक्स्ड है और सेलिंग भी फिक्स है और बापूजी ने सारा कुछ सेट किया हुआ है. ऐसा हमारे साथ कुछ भी होने वाला नहीं है. सो लाइक व्हेन यू come and join the architecture immediately after the study, lot of people think about that some miracle is going to happen in the market for them. No miracle is going to happen like this. मतलब कई बार लोग सोचते हैं कि बड़े पैसे कमाने वाले, बट हाँ इट्स ए वेरी गुड प्रोफेशन, इट्स वेरी गुड. We are like creating something, we are like designing something, we are like creator. God is also a creator. You get first of all so much peace and sense of satisfaction when your product comes in the market. You design something. The other thing is this profession needs a lot more of hard work. Initially in the first 3 to 5 years, you sometimes are not able to say how I should handle. Already Khushboo has told about her experience. That when you comes over there, you feel so much of it. Like my son has joined me for the last 4 months, and he's also, in spite of being myself architect, he's also feeling so much of it right now. Like things are not that easy. You have to bear the things, you have to bear the heat, and you have to show your nerves. Then only you can be a good architect, or good interior designer, or good market person. So it's not an easy field, but हाँ आप इसमें बहुत कुछ कर सकते हो. मैं आप सभी यंगस्टर को यही मैसेज देना है, आप इसमें बहुत कुछ कर सकते हो. थैंक यू.
So thank you very much. Let us all join for a lunch and panel is open. We all are available. Let us discuss over there. Thank you very much. Thank you. Arvind sir.
On behalf of my students and the clarity of mind, there's one question which is open to all the panelists here because you are specialists in your field, and I don't think there could be a better opportunity. There's always a dilemma amongst my students when they graduate from the institute whether they should get into their own consultancy or whether they should join a job. And there has been a lot of pull from the architects where they want my students to join them and the students do not join them and they have this confusion. नहीं हम तो अपना करेंगे, पापा ने कहा है अपना करना. So kindly, as specialists from the field, if you can throw some light on the pros and cons of being into a job before getting into the consultancy, please.
So I agree with the Arvind question, and I suggest up to 25 year of age you have to study bachelor's or master's or PhD, whatever. If you are less than, it's prefer you should go for learning, right? Couple of years of learning will make you more master and you can earn more money at the age of 30 rather than starting your earning at 20s, right? So I would recommend join a good architect, senior architect or interior designer firm, and your experience counts a lot. That is the only way to go ahead. Don't start your practice immediately after passing out. I know things, very many things. The college life is totally different from the practical life. You have to work a lot for that. Thank you very much.
For this thing which you have asked, this is a very good question for the youngsters. We have seen many of the young kids after just passing out from the college, they just start doing their practice thinking the same way. Okay, fine, we know it's so easy, let's get idea from Pinterest or here and there. We are done, there's nothing left. But when then they enter into the field, when they visit the site and they bear the heat, then they get to know the reality that okay, fine, we don't know anything. People are asking us questions and we are like, we don't have any answers. And I've seen many kids, they just drop out their idea and then they again go back to the learning process, join some good firm, enhance their skills and improve on their learning sessions, and then they'll go back to the practice. So rather than wasting that time initially, you should first do the learning part and rather than just joining any firm while where you can't grow, It's better to join a firm, whether it's big or small, where you can grow, your interest can grow. So any firm can match up your skills if your interest and their interest, match up. Thank you.
I have many questions and request also here to be made because this is a very beautiful. I'm really touched with the kind of discussion that we are having in presence of so many students here. See, what I have seen is that we people send our students for internship with the architects. No pun intended. During the first year or the second year of studies, these students haven't learned much. They have primarily become draftsmen. And when they go for internship, the architects themselves, as again I am saying no pun intended, the architect themselves say, "Arey tum institute mein kya seekhoge? You join us," because there's dearth of interior designers in the field, and the students they start feeling the architect is saying it. So what is the big deal of going to the institute? They drop out of the course. The architects are using their potential for only drafting. They are happy, the students are happy. They use them for 3 years, 4 years, and eventually they feel that the growth is not there and then they leave the field. So where is that onus on these architect fraternity, where they feel that this is the manpower that we will require tomorrow, and we are training them? None of the doctors, none of the lawyers, none of the senior engineers I have seen telling their juniors कि कोई बात नहीं, 2 साल MBBS में लगा लिए, छोड़ दो, मेरे साथ सर्जरी के लिए आ जाओ. Nobody does it. But why is it so in the architectural field that the students who are studying, we are sending them to the architects for internship? वो उनको झूठे सर्टिफिकेट बना के दे देते हैं. He has attended 1 month program or 2 months program. This is one problem. The second problem is when the students are told no need to go. आपको अभी जॉब मिल गई, ठीक है, क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
That's where the institutes and professionals, they have the equal responsibility in shaping the future for architects.
Exactly. So it has to be in tandem. We have to walk hand in hand.
We have had kids with us, who joined us for the training purpose, and then they continued with the part-time job system, and then helped them a lot. And it was not just the part-time, just for the money purpose, for the guidance purpose also. So they used to go to their college, finish up the work, and then come to us just for 1 hour, 2 hour. It used to be a headache for us because for 1 hour, 2 hour, no work can be done. Rather than it was a lot of questions, a lot of asking about what is this, what is that. Okay, fine. Now we have to do thesis. What topic we can do? But then you feel good. I think it totally depends on person to person because we both feel good when we connect to some individuals, some youngsters, and we can help them guide because we feel somehow if we have missed something in our younger days, we should be able to provide it to the youngsters. And when they do well in their field and when they feel they have been guided rightly, it feels good. But you are right. There are people who do this just to have a lower salary staff for themselves. And if they will not become an architect, there won't be a proper competition for them in the future. So that's
I think both the parties have to have an equal responsibility in shaping up. Because I said I started. Fortunately or unfortunately, I was the one who started the discussion, and I said we have to believe in nation building, and it is not a message only for the students. It's a message for all the professionals, be it the architectural field, doctors field, engineers field. Unfortunately, the professionals is going down, and the monetary aspect, what we stand to gain out of this, is coming in. That is where I think I'm asking Ms. Goel's question also. When she said, where have we lost? Where have the architects lost that zeal to preserve the richness of the culture of India? I think we are more or less responding to the client only, and the client, we want that client to be happy, so that he goes and talks about us to the other client, and we get referral business. So just because we want to make that client happy, we are succumbing to that pressure, and we are not educating that client as to what are the advantages and disadvantages of using that particular material in our particular climatic conditions. If somebody appraises them, My father was a leading surgeon, and when patients would come and say, Doctor Sahab, ye kar dijiye, he would say, thank you very much, I am the doctor. Either you are going to get treatment the way I want to give it, or you go elsewhere. Why can't we do this in our practice? We are professionals, the client is not the professional. Yes, we do the client study, we client profiling, we understand his need and requirement and everything. And ultimately, somewhere if we start putting our foot down and say, this is like this because this reflects my personality, my thinking and my knowledge, I believe the whole scenario can change, the mindset can change. As the Dalai Lama says, you have to have one happy person who makes 10, who make 100, who make thousands. And that is how the whole concept, the whole world becomes a better place to live. So I think the buck has to start from here. Unfortunately, we all believe Bhagat Singh hona chahiye, lekin mere ghar mein nahi hona chahiye, padosi ghar mein hona chahiye. It has to start from our own thinking. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Arvind sir. But just going to conclude, there is a problem of plenty also. I will discuss in detail during the lunch with someone who wants to. I agree with Arvind sir, what to do, when to do this question. Because when we studied architecture, we started education, there were less than 20 architecture colleges in the country. Now it has gone up to 500. Ludhiana is supposed to have 3-4 colleges. Ludhiana just have one college after many decades, right? And Pune, many cities have more than 50-20 colleges each. I think 200 to 300 colleges in 200 to 300 bigger cities of India are more than enough to study architecture, and same for interiors. Otherwise, problem of plenty means there are many colleges in rural area. I have listed architecture colleges where teachers, they are unable to get the teachers also. So the quality of standard of profession has gone down in the last decades. So that is one of the reasons that many practicing architects say, please come to our office directly and we will teach you better than what you are going to learn in your college. So many more things, the matter is open and keep on discussing. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you my panelists, thank you team Design Unfiltered, and thank you team Kajaria for organizing this event. And let us join for lunch. Thank you very much. Thank you.